couchwasabis. This is Jirbie from Couchwasabi. So for today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my reasons on why I got back into using menstrual cups. So if this is something that you'd want to hear about, please keep watching. Alright, so I have two menstrual cups. This is the one that I've used before and which turned me off from using menstrual cups. And this is my new menstrual cup from Intimina, or the Lily Cup 1. I'm going to be sharing with you my thoughts on both and objectively tackle each and every common issue about menstrual cup. If you are someone who is on the fence of using it, maybe you're not yet sure as to why you should or you should not use it, I think this video is going to be helpful. I'm going to be sharing with you my personal experience about these two cups. And first, let me just show you the difference between the two. Okay? So this one I got from Shopee. This is so affordable. This is only 200 pesos. It is from the brand called Anytime. This is made in China. And there are a lot of, I think, fear-mongering things about this cup. And I would like to, I guess, debunk them. But before we get into that, all the nitty-gritty details of those bashers, I guess, of other cheaper cups, let me just show you how a menstrual cup, a basic menstrual cup, looks like. So it looks like this, typically like your little cute silicone cup that should fit your insides. And this is my other cup. So I haven't been using my Anytime cup since the first time I've used it and decided to give up on it. But I know a lot of other people have succeeded on using it. Unfortunately for me, I'm not one of those people. At first I have given up on using menstrual cups, but because of the need or the want to reduce the carbon footprint that I've been, I guess, producing. Imagine I'm an overbleeder, so in my regular cycle I use tons and tons of pads, more than a regular woman does, because I have PCOS, so I tend to overbleed than most other women. And I wanted to reduce that carbon footprint that I've been producing and using all these sanitary napkins. And number two, since I have started diving, I wanted something that would protect me even if I wanted to go doing all those outdoor activities. And so I was forced to do my research and give it a little try. And I'm happy that I found Intimina's Lily 1 cup. This has been working well for me. Okay, so this is how they look like if you compare them side by side. Okay, the length, this one is shorter. The circumference, almost similar. The hardness, this is how they do it. See, Anytime is harder than Lily Cup. So for beginners, I would suggest for you to use this one simply because it's, I guess, gentler on your insides. And I like Intimina as compared, I like this one, this Lily Cup one. It's one of their most basic, it's their cheapest menstrual cup. And it's cute because you can actually do this. You can actually fold it up like this. And it's very compact, so it comes with this washable case. And just slip this in your purse. And that's it. I've had this in my purse since my last period. And I'm about to enter my next cycle, so I'm about to use this. I did sterilize this earlier. How do you sterilize them? Just submerge them in boiling hot water for about 5 minutes. And then let it cool there, and then remove it from there and let it air dry. It's important that you let it air dry, especially those that are on the inside. Make sure that everything is dry. so it doesn't harbor any bacteria. Okay, and as for your basic anytime cup, I know a lot of other girls have succeeded in using it. I wish I did succeed in using it, but unfortunately no. It comes with this cute little pouch like most other menstrual cups do, and this is only 200 pesos, while this is about 1,500 pesos. The cost is end-to-end, so if you are a beginner, it's a no-brainer for you to want to try a cheaper cup. Now, it's just that this is a little too hard. Maybe if Anytime would produce their next versions as something softer, then it would be better. And I guess another issue in coming out with softer cups is that some other cups are not that efficient in going back to its original form. So it depends actually on the person. And some other girls, I know they've tried 5 cups before they found their Goldilocks, or the one that really locks, or the one that really works well from the insides of you. Luckily for me, this works pretty well. I've used this, I think, in 1 full cycle. This one I only used in 2 days and I've given up. It was really hard, it was really painful, and there was a time that it got stuck there. I was really panicking, so I never want to go back to this. It's a lot painful because it's hard and stiff. I think this is not fit for me. So there, but I tend to keep it. It's just there. It's just there. But I have been using this, and I look forward to using this. Especially, I have an upcoming dive next week, and I know I will be having my period. So I'm pretty much excited for that, to try it out and to see how far this will go. But in the meantime, let me just share with you my thoughts on menstrual cups and the reason why I went back to it and what made me stuck into it. Okay? Okay, so first, menstrual cup comes in many forms. There's something like this, the most common one, where it looks like your common tulip flower. Then this is a little unique because it comes in this ridged form, simply because the function is it has to collapse. It's a collapsible cup, so it's unique, it's compact, it's discreet, it's portable. And there are others that looks a little bulbier, and there are others that looks like a disc. So there are a lot of other menstrual cups or menstrual discs that are available in the market. And since each of us are different, some girls may find it hard to discover the cup that they would consider as their Goldilocks. Okay, so that's what they call it. Luckily for me, I found it on my second try, and I really love this. The way I do it is I do this fold. I used to do this fold with my Anytime cup, and it was so darn painful. So I'm never gonna do that again. Since I used this, I have been doing this fold. I'm honestly not knowledgeable on what they are called, but I'll just show you. So this is the cup, you just fold it in one side and you insert it like this, and then as soon as it crosses this point, it just pops right back up. And sometimes, so okay, let me just do a little demo. So for example, this is it. Okay, so you insert it there. As soon as it crosses that, there you go. And sometimes I just push it a little and pull it back to make sure that it's locked, and that's it. Since this cup doesn't really have that long sticking thing, it really fits well with me, and I like making sure that this ring is aligned like vertically, not like this, because it's painful. I've tried it, it's painful. So you make sure that it's like this. So when you insert it, you make sure that the fold is like this. See? Okay. And when you are taking it out, remember not to pull it from the ring, kasi nasisira to. So other girls, nasira to, especially if you have long nails or maybe sa katagalan. So the way I do it is, for example, it's like this. It's like this. So I try my best to like pinch it a little to just break the seal. Pinch it a little and then hahatakan mo siya habang nakapinch. So, yun. So sometimes it's hard, especially when you're not relaxed. Sometimes, well, usually, most of the time, you'd have to squat to be able to take it out. It's harder to take things out when you're standing. So maybe you'd have to, you know, squat first and do your little magic and take it out. And what I like about this is that this is actually enough for me for about 12 plus hours. Although I think the recommended use is only about 12 hours? 10 hours? 12 hours. Okay, it's only about 12 hours, but I've tried using this more than 12 hours and it's perfectly okay, but that is the time when my period is towards at the end. So, the recommended hours written on the box of your menstrual cup is always a suggestive note. It also depends on your flow. So if you know that you're an overbleeder, you know, you don't expect your cup to perform up to 12 hours, if you know that more or less it will just be filled in, what, 8 hours? Common sense. Okay. So, I have no regrets in trying this. I got this from a local distributor of Intimina here in the Philippines. It's very accessible. They ship promptly. So I paid for it tonight. I got it 2 days after or a day after. I'm not so sure, but I got this on time. So I really like that. I really like the softness of it. And I really like the color and the compatibility. And I just hope that it will last me a long time. I also like that they have a support group. So they have this Facebook group wherein all the Intimina users can just go there and share their experiences and share their problems and ask people how other girls do it. So it's a nice little group thing that, you know, if you need a big sister advice, you can just go there and ask anyone. Okay, so let me just share with you my thoughts on both, okay? For those of you who have tried anytime, or who are planning to try anytime, there are like myths that surround this brand. Number one is that this is the myth that this is not FDA approved. If you do your research well and better, you would find that this is actually FDA approved. And for anyone who has processed FDA personally, like I've done FDA approvals and processing and all those paperwork in a lot of my brands and in a lot of my businesses, you would know that FDA approved or FDA approval or FDA certification is not really an end-all be-all thing for your item to be safe. Pere-pere lang yan. That's the truth. So if you are a big company and if you have money, you can always pay for your FDA. Because FDA don't really like check your stuff. They don't. And so for this being, as they say, not FDA approved, if it were not FDA approved, it's not really a big deal. But then again, this is actually FDA approved because most companies who have their brands FDA approved, they apply the FDA approval using their manufacturing company. And when you do your research further, you would see that the manufacturer of this brand is actually included in the list of those who have their products approved by the FDA. So just to clear that out, anytime Menstrual Cup is actually an FDA approved product. And even if it weren't, it doesn't really hold anything. Okay? It all boils down to whether the Anytime Cup actually works on you. I think that's a more important problem. Sadly, this didn't work for me, but I know other girls are okay with this. It's always different per person, like the way, you know, your foot is different. Some are fatter, some are thinner. So, you know, nice analogy. So anyway, this didn't work well for me because it was too hard. I felt it was too harsh. But I feel that this is also, I guess, nicely made. It's sturdy. I don't think this will break anytime soon. I don't think this will degrade anytime soon. It uses a fairly thick silicone material, therefore I would assume this will last a long time. I would assume this will last even over 10 years. And yeah, for this one, it's recommended to use this for 10 to 12 hours or 8 to 10 hours if you have a stronger flow. Again, it depends on the person, but it's really cheap. So if you are a beginner and you would try this, heads up, medyo matigas lang siya. So, you know, if you are still tipping your toes around it, I don't think you would, I mean, this is my honest opinion, I don't think you would have a good time. I don't think you'd enjoy trying your first menstrual cup with this, simply because it's hard. It's really hard. Okay? This is a little gentler. That's why I love it. It's so much softer. It's cute. There are factors like if you have a low cervix or high cervix, there are things like that. I honestly didn't have time to measure that. Not that I didn't have time, but I didn't know how to measure it. So I just went with the most basic. So when I was asking May, who's selling this, like her recommendations, she just gave me this as the beginner cup, and I said, okay, I'll take it. I mean, for sure, my cervix is not that different from most people. So I got this, and I chose this over the other one. There's another one that looks like taller. It's a taller one. And that is for someone who has a high cervix. I'll put the picture here. I didn't like that because it has like a flap on the ring side, and I know you'd have to clean that more than usual because, you know, blood and whatever can stick up there, and you'd have to like clean it longer than the way you should clean this. So I got this as my basic cup. It's easier to clean. You just rinse it out with water, with cold water. Never ever rinse it with hot or warm water when it has blood inside, because it will stain 100%. So that's your trick to keep your menstrual cup looking brand new for a longer time. Never ever rinse it out with warm water when there's blood in it. It will stain 100%. So I always rinse my cup out with cold water as the first rinse, and then I only use warm water when I'm sterilizing after my cycle and before my cycle. So it's actually very low maintenance. That's another reason that I love about it. That's another reason on why I love it. It's very low maintenance. It's cute. It's easy to clean, to be honest. It's easy to clean. I do use baby soap in between washes, just to make sure that all the bloody debris is gone. Especially the holes around the ring, I make sure to pinch it out and make sure that, you know, nothing gooey is stuck there. And yeah, I've been really enjoying using my Intimina, and look at how cute this is. It slips perfectly and discreetly in my bag. Nobody knows this is a menstrual cup. Nobody would even dare to ask me what this is. Versus this, if I put this in my bag, you know, it's more questionable. This one is really cute. I have had this, I've used this in my last period, like the full cycle, and it worked pretty great. No leaking. Although, if you have issues on leaking, then you would have to use, I guess, a panty liner. If not, then you'd have to use your period panty. I do have some period panty available for sale on my Shopee. I'll put it down below. If you're interested, it only comes in one size because I just bought the extras. It's limited quantity. The brand is Ruby Love. So there. You can use that. I plan on using that in my next cycle. It's the most eco-friendly cycle that I'll ever have. To use this in my period panty, so I'm kind of excited to have my red days come in. So I am blabbing. Um, Again, I'm very happy in using my Intimina Lily Cup 1. I'm just happy that it fits me perfectly. And I'm happy to be saving all those sanitary pads from ending in the landfill. I used to work in PNG, so you know, I'm such a loyalist to my Whisper. But now I'm confident. Like as of my last cycle, I haven't used those pads, and I'm happy. I will be donating my remaining pads to the less fortunate. I think that's a smarter way to do it, because since my last cycle, I have been using my Intimina, and on my next cycle, I'm excited to use my period panty. I'll show a picture here. Okay, and if you're interested to get some of those, I have a couple of extras. You may want to purchase them. They all come in one size. So if you have a a hip size of 33, 34, then I think it will fit you, and maybe you want to get one. Anyway, I guess that's all for today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any other questions about menstrual cups, or if you have any other concerns about it, don't forget to shoot them down through the comments, or send them to my Twitter, or just comment anywhere on my social media and answer them for you in my best capability. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!